Did you just wake up to news of a surprise $4,700 stimulus payment heading to your bank account? A late-night Senate session led by Bernie Sanders that completely blindsided Washington? If you're scrambling to understand what this means for your wallet and why it happened with zero warning, you're not alone. The political world is in absolute shock right now, and we're breaking down exactly what you need to know about this unprecedented economic move. Before we dive into the stunning details of this overnight legislative bombshell, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're bringing you breaking news and analysis faster than the mainstream media, and you don't want to miss our upcoming coverage on how to actually claim your stimulus payment when the time comes. Now, let's get into this shocking development that has everyone talking. The political landscape shifted dramatically last night when Senator Bernie Sanders orchestrated what many are calling the most surprising legislative maneuver in recent memory. In a marathon late-night session that stretched until 3 a.m., Sanders managed to push through a $4,700 direct stimulus payment plan that caught both parties off guard. This development comes as inflation concerns and economic uncertainty continue to dominate headlines, with many Americans still struggling to make ends meet despite official reports of economic recovery. What makes this story particularly remarkable is the timing and secrecy surrounding the vote. While rumors of a potential economic relief package had been circulating in Washington for weeks, nobody expected action this swift or decisive. The session was strategically scheduled during a time when media attention was focused elsewhere, specifically on the ongoing debates about infrastructure and tax policy. This calculated move allowed Sanders and his allies to build a temporary coalition of support without facing the usual barrage of opposition that might have derailed the effort. But is this stimulus plan actually real? And if so, how did it pass so quickly without mainstream media coverage? These are questions flooding social media right now, with stimulus surprise and Bernie Blitz trending nationwide. The truth is that legislative procedures can sometimes move remarkably fast when the political will aligns. What we're seeing is a perfect storm of economic necessity, political opportunity, and procedural maneuvering coming together in a rare moment of decisive action. The details of the stimulus plan reveal a targeted approach rather than a universal payment system. The $4,700 payments would be directed primarily toward households earning under $75,000 annually, with a gradual phase out for those earning up to $100,000. This structure mirrors previous stimulus efforts, but with a more substantial individual payment amount. Additionally, the legislation includes provisions for supplemental unemployment benefits and small business support, creating a comprehensive economic relief package valued at approximately $1.20 trillion overall. Funding for this massive initiative reportedly comes from a combination of sources, including temporary tax adjustments on corporations and high-income earners, reallocation of previously approved but unspent pandemic relief funds, and targeted spending cuts in non-essential areas. But many are asking, can the economy handle another injection of this magnitude? Won't this worsen inflation? These concerns are valid and represent the primary criticism from opponents of the measure. Economic experts are divided on the potential impact. Some warn that pumping additional money into the economy could exacerbate already concerning inflation rates, while others argue that targeted relief is necessary to prevent a widening wealth gap and potential recession. The reality likely lies somewhere in between, with the actual economic impact depending largely on how quickly the funds are distributed and how recipients choose to use them. The political implications of this development are equally significant. With midterm elections approaching, this move represents a bold gambit that could either pay tremendous dividends or backfire spectacularly for those who supported it. Sanders himself has framed the action as a necessary response to congressional gridlock and the failure of more traditional legislative channels to address urgent economic needs. When the American people are suffering, we cannot afford to wait for perfect consensus, Sanders reportedly stated during the marathon session. Sometimes, democracy requires bold action, even when that action comes at an unexpected hour. Critics, however, are already mobilizing against what they characterize as legislative overreach and procedural manipulation. Several senators have expressed outrage at both the content of the bill and the manner in which it was passed, promising legal challenges and procedural countermeasures in the coming days. The White House has yet to issue a formal statement on the development, creating additional uncertainty about the executive branch's position. How will this affect you personally? If the stimulus plan survives the inevitable legal and political challenges, most eligible Americans could see direct deposits beginning as early as next month. The legislation apparently includes provisions for an expedited distribution process, leveraging existing IRS systems established during previous stimulus efforts. For those without direct deposit information on file, with the IRS paper checks would follow approximately 2 weeks later. But the process for claiming your stimulus isn't quite as straightforward as previous rounds. The legislation reportedly includes new verification requirements designed to prevent fraud and ensure that payments reach their intended recipients. This means you may need to take proactive steps through an online portal to confirm your eligibility and provide updated information. We'll be covering the exact process in detail once the official guidelines are released. The broader economic context surrounding the stimulus plan can't be ignored. Recent market volatility, coupled with persistent supply chain issues and labor market disruptions, has created a precarious economic situation despite strong headline numbers. Housing costs continue to rise in many areas, while wage growth has struggled to keep pace with inflation. This economic reality has created growing pressure for government intervention, particularly among working-class Americans who feel increasingly left behind by the recovery. What's particularly interesting about this development is how it relates to other ongoing economic discussions. The stimulus comes amid intensifying debates about student loan forgiveness, healthcare reform, and minimum wage increases. Some analysts suggest that this move could either accelerate or completely reshape these parallel conversations, depending on its economic impact and public reception. Social media platforms are already flooded with reactions ranging from celebration to skepticism to outright conspiracy theories. The hashtag #StimulusOvernight has generated millions of impressions in just hours, with users sharing plans for how they'll use the funds and others questioning the legitimacy of the news. This digital reaction highlights the information challenges that accompany such unexpected developments, with misinformation spreading almost as quickly as accurate reporting. Looking ahead, the stimulus plan faces numerous hurdles before becoming reality. Legal challenges are virtually guaranteed, with questions about procedural compliance and constitutional authority likely to dominate the discussion. Additionally, the mechanics of implementation present logistical challenges that could delay the actual distribution of funds, regardless of the legislation's current status. What should you do now? First, stay informed through reliable sources as this situation develops. Second, be cautious about sharing unverified information or responding to unsolicited communications regarding the stimulus. Scammers are already attempting to capitalize on the confusion, with fake stimulus registration websites appearing within hours of the news breaking. Remember that official communications will come through established government channels, not emails or text messages requesting personal information. If this stimulus plan does move forward, it could represent a watershed moment in American economic policy. The precedent of rapid, targeted intervention could reshape how future economic challenges are addressed, potentially leading to more agile and responsive governance. Alternatively, if the effort fails or produces negative consequences, it could severely limit similar actions in the future. As we continue to monitor this developing story, remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to stay updated with the latest information. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up and share it with friends and family who might be wondering about this shocking economic news. Drop your questions in the comments below, and we'll address them in our follow-up coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.